Hi everyone, today, we're going to take a look at the 5 best smartphone for photography on the market for this year. First, we're going to show you our 5 best picks, then we'll talk about what you should look for before buying a best smartphone for photography. You can find timestamps and links to all the products we mention in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. In today's world, almost everyone carries a camera with them, thanks to the default inclusion of cameras in smartphones. However, not all phones are created equal when it comes to capturing the best photographs. Some stand out for specific reasons. The arena of mobile photography has become a major battleground for smartphone vendors as they strive to outdo each other. Fortunately, it's not merely a numbers game, despite megapixel counts reaching new highs. It's largely about how effectively software can make the most of the available pixels. This effectiveness can also be influenced by how you leverage the features that the software offers, especially given the diverse modes that phones now routinely provide. This landscape is constantly evolving, with new phones frequently surpassing their predecessors, while others shift positions based on how recent updates have impacted their performance and image quality. Whether you're interested in pro mode capabilities, innovative software features, or getting the most value for your money, this collection of information is an excellent starting point. At Petapixel, we'll continuously update this resource to keep you informed about the ever-changing and dynamic smartphone market, ensuring you have the knowledge you need to capture the images you desire. Number 5. iPhone 15 Pro Max Smartphone for Photography. The iPhone is still among kings when it comes to video recording and photography, but the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max feel like true upgrades. The Pro models still record HDR ProRes and Dolby Vision, but while the iPhone 14 Pro could only record 4K/30p, the 15 Pro offers 4K/60p. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max models also add log encoding, giving users more options in post. Thanks to the inclusion of USB-C, workflows for editors just got a lot faster, and video shooters can record ProRes footage directly to an attached SSD. Apple is really pushing the multiple focal lengths, macro, 13mm, 24mm, 28mm, 35mm, 48mm, and 120mm, for the Pro Max only. The company bills this as the phone having 7 lenses, though there are only 3 rear cameras with multiple field of view options. It is possible to select either the 24mm, 28mm, and 35mm focal lengths as the default, though. The 15 Pro and Pro Max also the first smartphones with ACES, a global standard for color workflows. For video, cinematic mode lets users focus on specific objects, while action mode has better stabilization. Spatial video capture will only be out later this year, but when it launches, it'll be possible to make 3D videos for the Apple Vision Pro headset. Both versions also saw upgrades to night mode. Number 4. Vivo X90 Pro Smartphone for Photography. Vivo throws everything it can into its camera app, especially when Pro is in the phone's name. In this case, the X90 Pro is not necessarily the brand's best within the 90 series, but it is arguably the most versatile because of the sheer breadth of modes, features, settings, and customization involved here. Not to mention the interesting ways in which filters or editing tools enter the fray. Where else will you find an architectural mode or long exposure with so many variances? The rear camera array includes a zoom lens Vivo prefers to call a portrait one because of its 15mm equivalent and the 6 Zeiss bokeh effects available to choose from. Vivo is one of the few brands that will let you take a photo in portrait mode and then decide where you want the focal point and f-stop to be afterward. You can even save multiple images based on what you want in focus, and even focus stack them in post later. Zeiss's presence is more obvious now based on the natural color setting applicable through several of the shooting modes. Shooting at full resolution, even if you can't do it in RAW, at least offers better prospects when cropping in later, somewhat offsetting the shallow zoom afforded by the portrait lens. Plus, you should get good results editing full-res images, despite them coming out as JPEGs. Number 3. Google Pixel 7 Pro smartphone for photography. Unsurprisingly, Google didn't radically change anything with the Pixel 7 lineup, sticking to its penchant for swapping out image sensors every few years. That places the onus on the computation software Google has become known for, and it continues to be the best pixel for pixel. The 50-megapixel sensor unfortunately never shoots at full resolution, instead sticking to a bin 12.5 megapixels for better low-light shooting. Google's computational software works to optimize shots in all conditions, leaving us all to wonder what could be if pixel binning isn't always part of the equation. Indeed, Google leaves few, if any, manual controls to work with, placing even more of an emphasis on what the onboard software does behind the scenes. It's nice to have sliders for shadows, highlights, and color temperature, and even the ability to shoot in RAW at any time, but the magic comes in how the Pixel 7 Pro processes the JPEG you capture. This phone retains the Pixel series knack for excellent low-light images and dynamic range in brighter conditions. You can shoot using all three lenses in almost every mode, and despite Google's refusal to add a Pro or manual mode, it does make RAW readily available across various modes. Number 2. Xiaomi 13 Pro smartphone for photography. While there were flashes indicating what a partnership between Xiaomi and Leica might yield, especially when a Type 1 sensor is inside, the Xiaomi 13 Pro also makes a strong case for what's possible when a renowned camera brand makes a real impact. That could describe the phone's camera in its entirety, but the Pro mode, and by extension, the 50MP mode stands out because it gives you plenty to work with. Granted, you can't shoot in RAW at the full 50 megapixels, but in a rarity for a lot of phones, you can shoot JPEGs at full resolution using all the manual controls Pro mode offers. That's on top of the ability to shoot with the standard Leica Authentic and Vibrant modes, plus the 4 Leica color and black and white filters. Old film emulations, not Leicas, are also available, only adding to the creative potential to take thoughtful photos rather than typical snapshots. RAW images are great, particularly in low light, but you may find the 50 megapixel JPEGs are equally flexible when editing them in post. The best part is this applies to the other rear lenses as well, letting you shoot at 50 megapixels in both telephoto and ultrawide with the same granular controls. You can also shoot in RAW using either of them at 12 megapixels, effectively making the 50MP mode part of a system rather than a one-and-done feature. Number 1. Galaxy S23 Ultra smartphone for photography. Samsung owes much of its current success to the incremental improvements it introduced in the Galaxy S22 Ultra, but the Galaxy S23 Ultra takes things to another level with some well-executed upgrades and additions. This device now stands as one of the most versatile camera phones available, largely thanks to its Pro mode and RAW capture capabilities. While Samsung's HP2 image sensor might not be the largest in physical size, it certainly boasts an impressive megapixel count. However, the real magic lies in how Samsung utilizes these megapixels in combination with enhanced computational software to deliver superior images in both JPEG and RAW formats. Capturing a 200 megapixel image opens up cropping possibilities that are simply unmatched by other phones, and the quality retention here is exceptional. This often makes using telephoto lenses unnecessary, though having them as reliable options certainly adds to the device's appeal. In a brilliant move, Samsung has integrated Expert RAW into the camera app, allowing users to capture 50-megapixel RAW images complete with 16-bit RAW support and the ability to save custom settings presets. Another standout feature is the seamless integration with Lightroom, a rarity among phone brands. This integration is particularly valuable, given the S Pen's utility as an editing tool. The S Pen functions well as a remote shutter, and with a built-in slot, this phone effectively inherits the legacy of the Galaxy Note.